Welcome back to Living the Wiccan Life. In part 2 of our episode, we bring you the first event that Edward attended during his stay in Salem. A presentation on traditional Stregheria by Leanne Marrama of the Trinoctian Road.
Welcome. Very few people I've read this story. Diana's your patron also. Diana, Italian, Roman deity, goddess of the moon. She created all the fairies. There is a legend that says that Diana descended upon the earth and created all the fairies, the goblins and the little people. Diana, if you're reading Leland, has a very controversial story. That Diana appeared to her brother Lucifer as a cat and created Aradia, her daughter. Diana wasn't milk-sopping. She was about love, but the more I read, I realized that Diana actually wasn't going to put up with anything. She wasn't going to put up with any injustice. So a lot of the theme that you have in Strega is justice. Whatever you do is with justice. And if you continue to read, even the call of Diana into Circle, it is done with, she protects the underdog. She was the patron of thieves. And there's another goddess, my favorite. She's considered a minor goddess. She was of money and of gamblers, and like thieves and poors. Her name was Laverna. Laverna has a wonderful story. She loved to seduce men and promised payment on several different houses and different objects. And her promise was, I'll pay you back. And if I don't, I shall offer you my head. And to someone else, she offered her body. So interchangeably, when she was called to task by the people of the town, she made her head disappear, so there was no head to take. So with that, the gods named her the patron of thieves and robbers. So on that vein, we all need money, don't we? And basil in itself draws in money. You can take basil baths. Or this is actually something that Laurie Bruno, who was also a very well-known Strega in the area, and also my grandmother. I didn't understand why my grandmother used to put basil in her shoe. I thought it was a thing to make your shoe smell better when I was little. Well, actually, if you put the bay leaf in your shoe, pointing outwards, so you draw in the wealth, it should help take care of debt. And any financial issues. When you're working with Strega, a lot of people still hang on to the Catholic saints, like Saint Michael. This is a particular favorite of mine. I love Saint Michael. Saint Michael, even in the Wiccan culture, in ceremonial magic, he's called into quarter. I call Saint Michael the goddess's hitman. If you really need something taken care of, if you really want some justice done, what you do is you put a piece of paper, or you work with Saint Michael. He'll eliminate any issue in your life. So even let's say if there's things you want to take care of in your body, weight, health issues, you can give it to Saint Michael and he cuts it out with his sword. We're going to do a little spell right now with Saint Michael. On a piece of paper, I want all of you to focus on things you don't need in your life. And remember, anything you do with justice and with fairness. Okay. It's okay. I was on the phone the other day with who I like to call Laurie Bruno, and we were discussing about getting rid of some people we don't need. And I would love to share this spell with you. It's hysterical. We had discussed of cutting people into toilet paper pockets. And then you wipe your butt with them and flush them down the toilet. That's one really great way of getting rid of people you don't need. Or you give it to your cats. You take a picture, a photograph, or a piece of an element of a person that you want to get rid of, and you shove them into the kitty litter. You never have to do a thing. you let your cat do the work. Oh, okay, everyone, write a name down. Who needs a pen?
Names are things, right?
Names or things.
Something we can do
Names.
without. We can do a whole bunch of stuff.
You can put more than one thing, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it to St. Michael tonight, but I'll burn it in my crock pot when we get home. When I get home. Now I have a couple of my friends here joining us for class. Nathaniel is one of them, and he was kind enough to make up fine rue in his yard. Or did you find it in someone else's yard? Did you wild
It
harvest
was
this
on
on someone
the
else's?
sidewalk near someone's yard. It was growing out of the fence.
Oh, okay. Fair game. Fair game.
Hard
And
to
he
find.
created this for me. It's made with olive oil, which is a wonderful spell. Olive oil is a great mixture for any spell. And, go ahead.
What is rue?
Come and sit.
What is rue?
Go ahead, rue it.
Rue is where you get the form of the spades suit in the cards, because the leaves they splay out into 3 pieces, like the clubs. Yeah, like a spade, and that's where you get it from. What it was originally used for, we go back to the Romans. They were artists, and you would eat rue as a way to reduce strain in your eyes. So they would eat a bunch of it, and their eyes would never get tired.
Where does it grow?
It's a perennial. It's like an evergreen, and it makes a nice hedge.
So you can grow it around here?
Yeah, you can go around here. It's also used by the Catholic Church as a blessing tool because it was called the herb of grace. So it's a herb of protection. You can also eat it, but you don't eat the whole thing. You eat just a couple sprigs, and it cures headaches and reduces eye strain, so it clarifies your vision.
I personally use rue as an element for protection. I use this oil on my wrist when I feel like I'm going to be in a situation where somebody would wish me harm. Or,
Where you want to see the truth.
yes, on your third eye to see the truth. But if you'd like to all line up, starting with Dolly, going around, place this here
And it's bitter.
under St. Michael, right here. Just put it right here.
Can I ask,
Hey, do you wish to roll?
can I ask if that's a little bit of Catholicism there with the oil on the forehead?
Oh,
Did
well,
they get that
a
from
lot,
Strega?
they got it from us.
That's
And the
what I
Strega, a lot of what Catholicism is witchcraft. They got the incense from us. They got everything.
Holidays.
Holidays.
Almost every holiday.
Their whole religion is based on witchcraft. And the reason why they do that, the Catholic Church, because this is our third eye, and they know it's a third eye. Of course they would bless someone's third eye. We know that to be the third eye. That's why in a lot of books, I put lavender after I'm reading, like a crazy this Saturday. I go home, I put lavender on my third eye and on my wrist. But here I'm doing this as an essence to stomp out and protect Dolly here from her issues. Is that yours? Huh? Yeah? Okay. Another thing to protect us from jealousy is the color red. You can tie a red ribbon. I don't know about you, my grandmother when I was born had a red ribbon on my diaper to protect us from the evil eye. But together, I want everyone to throw their right hand forward towards St. Michael. Protect us. Repeat after me. Protect us.
Protect us.
Eliminate what we don't need.
Eliminate what we don't need.
Cut out what we can't see.
Cut out what we can't see.
So motive be.
So motivate.
Yay. Okay. Over here, we have a simple lemon. Natural, normal things, and let's say nature's process thrown at the right object created a spell in the world. The proper witch will stare at a tree and say, when that apple falls from that tree, my spell is undone. I didn't know what my grandmother was doing with lemons when she was stabbing them with pins and letting them dry. Well, she named them. These lemons were named. They were people. This was Helen. Well, Helen was her neighbor who was bothering her. Helen shortly moved after this. Bride. It goes back to the orange with the clothes in it. That's a love spell. So, we all have things and people we don't want in our lives. So, everyone, take a turn and stick this orange, an orange is for love with cloves in it. This is to banish. Banish something you don't want.
Venus.
Christine, Peter, Lafayette.
We got Christine. They're white peaches.
There you go. You hang this in your window. You use this. You know what? It smells so good.
It smells so
It
good.
smells
How can
so
it be
good.
bad?
So how can it be bad? There's so many things that we do on a daily basis that have magical significance. Let's say we're making a pot of gravy. By the way, I call it gravy. It's not sauce. And it's the way you stirred it. You put the spell right in there with the energy and the motion of stirring the pot. Because there was no cauldrons, please. They were big cast iron pots. And people ate dinner in them. But if you wanted extra peace in the house that night, there were ingredients added to manifest control. Rose water was something that my grandmother added to cookies. I didn't know why. It didn't have much of a taste. It was only a drop. But I learned later that essence brought peace. It brought love.
I hope that you've enjoyed this episode of Living the Wiccan Life. Join us next week when we'll bring you more of our coverage of Halloween in Salem.